Yo, what's up? It's Honey Boss Hair back at it again with another video. And in today's video, we're reacting to the disturbing world of Gooning. What?
2025.
I didn't even know what the heck this Gooning. I thought it was like some kind of crime. Even though this is the crime being a Gooner and shit. Let's just get into it.
Pulling up to a barista in Tempe, Arizona.
This was so sad.
Going viral on Instagram and Twitter. In the clip, the man is calmly asked if he's been to this drive-thru before, but what happens next is diabolical.
And it's like, how many times this nigga had to do this shit for them to have to record? Just have it ready. They seen the car coming up. Yeah, there you go. Cause remember, sometimes the store you could just, it's like out. Like this right here, this is the building, and this is the drive-thru, and this is the drive-in. So this is the building. You seeing this nigga coming around? Yeah, get his ass. I'm gonna record him this time. Cause there's some crazy. It was those creeps back then at McDonald's. Like I told you when I worked at McDonald's, there was some crazy niggas coming up there.
Hey, how are you? Good.
Look at his face.
Yeah. Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable.
That's fucking weird, bro.
Have you been here before?
Yeah.
That's just nasty, man. How the fuck we ain't wearing no bottoms? And that look like leather. That shit, his ass sticky.
Diabolical.
Hey, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Call 911.
Disturbing.
The man's name was Nautica Malone, a 27-year-old who frequented Bikini Bean Coffee, a coffee shop where women dress semi-nude to attract more male customers. If you start to deduce this clip, you can make some assumptions about this interaction. It's obvious Nautica did something like this before or was trying to be pantless in secret around the shop because the barista already had her phone out before he even pulled up. Now, where he was doing it before is unknown. Maybe he was just chilling in a parking spot next to the shop, getting his dirty on while he watched the employees from a distance and they finally caught on. But what we do know is what tragically occurred following the event. After the clip started exploding on social media,
I'm sorry, but that's exactly what this weirdo fucking get.
A couple days later, prompting the hashtag.
But I don't think he should have, you know, you shouldn't have did that, you know. I can't be heartless, but come on. And you got a child and you have a wife. You have a child and wife at home, bro. That's why I think he did it, because the embarrassment. He probably did that shit before, and she probably was like, bitch, if you do this shit again, I'm leaving you, and I'm taking Junior with me. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why, like, a lot of people don't know. This might have been the last straw. Oh, that's so bad.
Ending on Twitter. But that is not even the worst part of all of this.
Oh.
The worst part is that Nautica Malone was married
with a wife. Beautiful. Beautiful family. Sometimes, like, that's what I said, it be wrong with some people mental, bro. A lot of people, like, they be hiding behind. Don't you see that mask where it's the man smiling, but behind he's like hurting? And that big goofy ass smile.
It's never funny when someone takes their own life.
Yeah.
Was this guy a creep? Absolutely. But no sane man who has a wife and children would ever think to commit public indecency the way Nautica did that day. And that indicates something more concerning was going on.
Yeah.
There have been instances in the past of men committing similar acts in places like Bikini Bean. This particular story sheds light on a dangerous level of hypersexuality that is quietly plaguing the minds of men who are hooked on adult content.
Like I said,
Gooning.
Yeah, that's why my neighbors be feeling like they must have busted my fucking door. Anyways, that video yesterday, which I got to post on YouTube. I was supposed to post it today, but like I said, I had some things going on. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. But yeah, they be addicted to that stuff. So it's like you do that too much, now you gotta find your next high, just like them addicts.
Let's peel back the foreskin on this internet slang, oil up, and thrust our way through.
All right, now you, nigga, why you using all these fucking sexual terms and shit? Like, bruh, just get to the next clip.
World of gooning. There's a lot of misconceptions about what gooning means because most people on the internet see it as nothing more than a funny meme. If you're like me before I did research for this video, and I have no idea what wrong turn I made in my career to get to the point where I'm talking about the subject of gooning,
and I'm reacting to this shit,
and thought to yourself, that's that funny word for pleasuring yourself, right? If you're unk status, you might think I'm referring.
I thought it was a fucking criminal. a goon. Like I fucking said, I am so tired of them switching the fucking. I was just telling my baby about that shit because, as some of y'all might know, I'm 10 years older than her ass. So it's like, fuck. I don't know some of the terms. Like, you would think 10 years not that big of a difference, but it is. A lot of terms she be saying, I be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I feel like Birdie Mac. What the fuck were you saying? I be so lost that she's breaking down, and I be like, why don't y'all just make your own little words? Why y'all gotta a word have one meaning and y'all just gotta, oh, nah, I don't like that. Let's put this on it. Just make a new word. What the fuck? Shit. Them fucking goons over there.
Referring to a stupid, foolish person or thug. But neither of those definitions fully capture the essence of gooning. Gooning is an activity in which a person repeatedly pleasures themselves right before the point of climax to reach a sexual trance of pure ecstasy. A goon-lightenment, if you will. If you're on social media often, you might think this sounds a lot like Gooning's right-hand man, edging. But there's a key distinction between the two. While edging is the act of pleasuring yourself to the point right before you climax, gooning is doing this so many times to the point where you purposefully put yourself in the same state that SpongeBob and Patrick found themselves in when they turned on the Orb of Confusion. Take this, no joke, the term edge maxing might be the best word to describe what gooning is. The term really gained popularity in 2024 thanks to memes on social media, as searches for the word gooning rose 314% that year. But the earliest known online mention of gooning as we know it predates all the way back to 2006.
Did y'all know this, chat? Did y'all know the meaning of gooning? Let me know down below.
Where the first definition was created in Urban Dictionary. Also, I love the example sentence they used here. There I was, stroking for hours, and I was into the goons so deep that a bomb could have gone off next door, and I would not have noticed. How can you talk about—
That was in 2006? The fuck?
That a bomb could have gone off next door, and I would not have noticed. How can you talk about this topic seriously when memes and sentences like that are what people think of when you hear the word gooning? But we need to start taking this seriously, because this is where it starts to get really disturbing. The very act of gooning itself calls into question the mental health of the people participating in it. I mean, it literally requires you to spend hours of your day reaching a pre-climax nirvana, causing any of your brain's logical reasoning to temporarily shut off. The real reason I'm making this video will be revealed soon, but first, let's see what the extreme ends of a gooning addiction looks like. That's right, we're headed to r/goon caves. r/goon caves was a subreddit full of people taking the sexual obsession of gooning to another level. On the subreddit, users would post pictures of their goon caves, a term used to describe an entire room dedicated to gooning.
Get out of here. What the hell? They use this to wipe their hands off on? Why he smiling, bruh? Like, yeah, good job.
The rooms usually consisted of multiple computer screens, sometimes up to 10 at once, all playing adult content at the same time. Goon simp on 6th hour of shameless pumping. Windows open so neighbors probably heard the goon grunts by now.
This probably them fucking weirdos that be like, oh, you only made it streaming because you show up your tits. Like, what? I remember it was when OF was just becoming something real crazy. These weird people in my chat used to try to, on YouTube, when I was streaming on YouTube at the time, was trying to tell me to make an OF and shit. You want to grow? Make an OF. I'm like, get your old duck. Come on, I got to get a faster punch because I want a multiple punch. I want to... Like, what the fuck? Weirdos.
Love the pervert Bader life. Ultimate collection update, 21 terabytes. Work trip requires a hotel goon cave. Hello, fellow gooners. First time poster.
This makes me want to throw up.
Had my first goon session.
That is crazy.
Last night. Felt better than ever. Up the ante with 7 screens, my most ever, a new bottle of poppers, and a type of adult content I'm not even going to consider reading out loud. Reading through these types of posts might make you chuckle initially, but when you really think about what these people are doing, it makes your stomach queasy. I made the mistake of eating yogurt while writing this section of the script, and that was just a miserable decision.
And I literally just ate, right?
5 years after its creation, r/goon caves was banned from Reddit due to violations of its policies against non-consensual intimate media. but there are several Gooning subreddits that still exist to this day. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Like I said,
a growing part of.
Like I said before, I was so mad when I'm happy Twitter made it where you don't see people like, so that really helped me stop seeing that corn stuff, because I'm like, I don't like seeing that stuff. Like, I rarely look at that shit. Like, once in the blue moon, I'll be like, oh, okay, let me look at it. You know what I'm saying? Then I don't even look at it long. It'd be like 30 minutes at most, if I'm really feeling it. But other than that, I just feel like, yeah, I feel so dirty looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm watching somebody like, but you know, when you in that mode, like, I'm horny. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't speak for other people, but that's how I feel. Like, what the fuck? But when I found out people do it multiple times a day, people watch it. I'm like you watching a movie or some shit. Like, they watch it together. I remember the first time I watched it a little bit with my baby, because I'm like, okay, can we watch something different? Because for a little bit, we watched it a little bit. And then I was like, okay, yeah. Because this, I don't know, because I was, when raised, I'm not trying to get it out. How we was raised, we wasn't supposed to watch stuff like that. Like, we was whole ass, say you watching, what is it? Like Halloween, and they show like boobs or something like that. Our mom be like, turn your head. So like, I have that installed in me. So when seeing something like that, I'd be like almost turning my head like, oh, I'm not supposed to see this. So, so people doing that all day, like, ugh.
Chronically online, horny men and women who are at the mercy of adult content. And
I'm happy you said women, because some of these women be weird. Not just men, but it's a majority, like a higher percentage of men. Like, come on, be real, nigga.
Miss you. It gets much, much worse than this. So why am I really talking about this? Just to have a laugh? No. I'm talking about this because it highlights a growing phenomenon within our culture, leading to more and more people spending hours of their day gooning. The constant desire for more stimulating adult content. Dr. K on the Healthy Gamer YouTube channel has a great in-depth video on the science of gooning, but I'm going to paraphrase what I think is the most important part of that video. You see, when you partake in gooning, you are intentionally increasing the intensity of the climax through an abnormal amount of stimulation. We can plot what this looks like on a graph, which has the threshold to climax on the y-axis.
So is that not just holding your nut? Huh? Is it? I want to know.
And the amount of pleasure / stimulation on the x-axis. As you start to pleasure yourself, you are about to reach the normal threshold, but then you stop, aka you edge. If you continuously do this over hours, your threshold for climax starts to increase with it, and chasing that peak leaves you in the delirious state heavy gooners report themselves reaching. While Dr. K says the consequences are still unknown, and while that might be true solely for the act of edging a bunch of times in a row, what I think matters more is what it leads people to start searching for. If
that doctor needed some chapstick.
You constantly need more stimulation to reach climax or goon-lightenment, you will inevitably have to keep increasing the amount of stimulation you need to achieve that. In other words, just regular stroking to regular stuff ain't gonna cut it anymore.
That's crazy.
Gonna need more. In the same way that a drug addict will have to increase
like
their
I said,
dose to feel
didn't I say that, chat?
The same effect they did when they first started taking the drug, a hardcore gooner will have to find weirder and nastier fetishes to goon to reach the level of climax that they used to be able to reach from very average adult content. I genuinely believe that this is where most people's very strange sexual fetishes are now stemming from. They are stemming from a society that gives them unlimited free access to any type of adult content that they want. And so comes the real reason I'm making this video, to bring awareness to what is causing serious mental health issues and disturbing addictions amongst not just adults, but now young children too. Hypersexuality. Almost everything within our culture is more promiscuous and sexual now. Kids are being influenced by all these types of terms and memes more than you think, and with their curious minds are exposing themselves to things they should not have access to until they reach adulthood. I don't think anyone can deny that sexual education is important, and talking to kids openly about what sex is important. But it's important to discuss those things to protect children from the dangers of adult content addiction, not to expose them to it freely. Social media frequently promotes sexual content the most, which creates a feedback loop between algorithms, consumers, and the creators. A creator sees that
like
more promiscuous.
I seen this one fucking annoying ass streamer. I'm looking for somebody to raid, It not somebody to rate. It was another time. I was just scrolling, trying to find a new person to watch, and then you could clearly see the girl. She's positioning herself, adjusting herself. You know, that's not normal adjusting like that. What I just did was normal adjusting, but you can see her doing her, you know, trying to make sure her ticks is in the frame. And I'm like, girl, go sit your little ass down.
Photos, they get more engagement. Posts with more engagement get fed to more people in the algorithm.
That sells, huh?
More people, specifically young kids, are getting thrown more and more sexual content than ever, while social media creators get rewarded for starting those kids' addictions early. So much of our culture now revolves around taking advantage of our lustful instincts for profit. And the things I've heard and seen from young men on the internet who have shared their stories of addictions haunts me. Took me less than 30 minutes after starting the script to find a comment from a kid who says he edges to anime adult content. And this is way more common than you think. This isn't even the bad stuff. So think about a young kid who is already into pleasuring himself to stuff like that at such a young age. If he does it frequently enough, he's eventually going to need to keep increasing the freakiness if he wants to get the same amount of pleasure he once got from anime girls. That is how gooners are created, and that's what we'll keep seeing more of if
that's
young
crazy.
kids continue to have unrestricted access to sites like this. But why does it matter, other than the fact that it's an addiction and it takes up so much time, which are both valid reasons on their own? It matters because of the catastrophic mental consequences that come with it. The awful erectile dysfunction when faced with real-life sexual interaction. The amount of pleasure it takes to get enough serotonin and dopamine to be happy when you're addicted, which makes any other activities that should naturally be pleasurable to you miserable. The increased risk of depression, social anxiety, and isolation. And
yo, not to tell somebody business, but somebody I know, I'll just say it, my fucking ex, like, he used to tell me, like, yeah, he had just, can I say masturbation? He had did that before I came over. I'm like, that's so fucking weird. What if I wanted to get me a net? I'm like, I think that's pretty greedy. But I'm like, some people really be addicted to that shit, and they wonder why they piece don't fucking shoot.
The risk of becoming someone like Nautica Malone. Exhibitionistic disorder, a mental health condition characterized by recurrent non-consensual exposure
fucking lashes getting in my eye,
is officially recognized in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. I'm sure there's people who develop this disorder from childhood trauma or neglect, but I'm willing to bet that most people who do so because of the influence of online adult content. Nautica Malone is not a victim. What he did...
Like, I'm a fucking adult, and I don't be wanting to see that shit. Like, when that shit was on my Twitter like crazy, like, I want to say last year, I was like, oh my gosh, I had to unfriend people, because I'm like, how am I keep seeing it? And I seen so-and-so like it. I'm like, I kept seeing that name, so I blocked that motherfucker. I'm like, I'm tired of seeing this shit. The fuck?
It was foul, and hell, he might not even fit the definition of a gooner. But from his story, it sounds like he found himself succumbing to lust produced by the internet to the point where it completely rewired his brain and destroyed any sense of rational judgment in regards to his sexual acts. Look at the posts his friends and family created after hearing about his death. My big brother, the funniest guy in any room you walked in, an unforgettable pillar in my life. Literally watched you grow up. I'm beyond lost for words.
That's crazy.
15 years you've been my brother. I keep crying because of all the memories we had together. How did a guy so loved by his community with a wife and kids ever get to the point where he would consider doing what he did? This is the end result of adult content addiction. And if you find that you are struggling with this ever-growing trend of edging and gooning, please get professional help. We need to start talking more openly and honestly about how hooked these kids are getting on some really weird shit on the internet. We need tighter restrictions around adult content, and we need to stop promoting and encouraging degeneracy by no longer engaging with those sorts of posts. Otherwise, I'm afraid there's only going to be more and more stories similar to the acts that Nautica Malone committed that day. It was recently revealed a couple days ago that Nautica had left a note for his wife just before he decided he wanted to pass away. And this is what it read. I apologize. I love you, Queen. I made a mistake, and I don't think I'll be able to face you and the baby.
But that's crazy. I know she would have forgave him, and they would have had to take counseling or something. He shouldn't have lost his life, but he also shouldn't have did that crazy shit he did.
To pass away. And this is what it read. I apologize. I love you, Queen. I made a mistake and I don't think I'll be able to face you and the babies. I don't know why I drove through like that. To all my family and friends, I love you and I'm so sorry. I love my kids and family. My mental has been fucked up. I am not a monster. Please forgive me.
97. Damn.
Whoa, heavy topic by the end there. I know.
Yeah.
But I have made videos regarding erectile dysfunction within men, which we need to be more open about. And
all right, I'm gonna let him
having
finish.
These types of adult content addictions. And here's one of the videos right here. If that's something you're struggling with, maybe the video will help you out. Love you guys, and stay cautious. Stay away from the lust that will pull you in.
That's crazy. And make sure y'all stop being. It's not worth the chat. If y'all haven't already, make sure you like, comment, subscribe.